Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. Today is Tuesday, February 11, 2025. I wanted to come here and share this news with you guys. Something terrible happened at somebody while she was at a supermarket in Brazil, okay? But before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who is listening in the podcast using Spotify. Please don't forget to follow me there. So every time I make a new episode, you get a notification. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching this on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody who has been subscribing. Please don't forget to subscribe and share, okay? And if you want to know more about me, you can always go to julissadesigns.com, okay? So last time I heard something like this happening, it was like, I don't even know what year it was, when the Dell computers came out, and there was like a big massive recall. Not when they came out, but when the laptops were like the thing. I don't know what year it was, like I said. And I remember them sending a warning saying, be careful of the battery, they might explode, they might overheat. And I was like, I remember one time I was buying a laptop for somebody to give us a gift, and I was like, I want to make sure I don't have the one that does that. The one that, you have to be so careful using it. And because, it would drive me insane to be checking on a thing like that so much because of fear that might caught fire on its own, or you might overcharge it too much, right? And like, they also say to you, when you get a new phone, be careful of charging it with those cheap charges that you buy like a Dollar Tree. Yeah, I know those never work, but like if you go to like a Five Below, you get a new charger. They always say be careful using those chargers that don't come with the phone, or they're not from the manufacturer of the phone, because they might cause problems long term. And you always have to be careful about that. Everybody lives on their phones, right? We're always on our phones, on our tablet, and we're always using our laptops, right? I remember when I first got my first iPad, it was like it was like I used it everything. It was like I had it in my hands more than my car keys. I used it for everything, and I still have it. I keep upgrading, and I'm like, I need my iPad. It's like my TV, my computer, everything, right? So it's just we get so used to all these electronics, and we don't think nothing will ever happen to them. I drop mine all the time, though. New or like used that I have for many years, I'm always dropping them. Um, but when it comes to them getting fires or something like that, I never think about that. I think that, like I said, the last time I thought about something like that happening was when I first heard about the Dell computers and how they were like doing these massive recalls, right? But if you watch, there's a video out there that this happened just today's the 11 happened on the 8th, and it happened in Brazil. We see a woman just doing regular shopping at a supermarket, something that we all do, and out of nowhere her whole bag, her purse, is on fire. And the reason for that is this Motorola phone that came out in 2022, fairly recent, right? Caught fire while on her purse. This is insane. I thought things like this don't happen anymore because technology gets advanced. So I wonder what happened. So let's read it together. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll do my best to give you a little bit of the video or do some screenshots. I don't own the video, right? But I'll see what I can do when it comes to that. But it says here, a cell phone exploded in a woman's pocket inside a busy supermarket in a terrifying scene that was caught on video. Security camera footage showed the unidentified victim standing next to her husband while they were browsing items at a store in Brazil city of Anápolis on Saturday. The woman frantically jumped and ran out of the store as her husband appeared to try to extinguish the flames, the video showed. Once outside on the street, bystanders rushed to her aid, and she said her husband, Mateus Lima, told the Brazilian news outlet that he took his shirt off to put out the flames. She was taken to Alfredo Abreu Hospital where she was treated for first and second degree burns. That's crazy. Looking at the video, I actually thought somebody was shooting, right? I actually thought somebody was shooting. So it got, it just in 1 second, her life changed completely. Something that I always tell you guys that can happen, right? I mean, I know we all know, but my emphasis when I always say that is nothing's gonna matter at the end. It's just a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Your life can change at any moment. We are so vulnerable. All these things that we use, like I'm reading this, like I told you, using the iPad. We're 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 so used to all these electronics, right? We use it all the time, and a lot of us we sleep with our phones next to our bed. Like you don't think things like this will ever happen, right? And like I said, this is not a cell phone that she had for like 10 years. This cell phone was released in 2022. So I wonder what the manufacturer is gonna do about this, right? It says here that he took his shirt. The husband took the shirt off to try to help her, and part of her hair was burned, and she was scheduled to return to the hospital to have her wounds treated. She had first and second degree burns, including on her hand, forearms, back, and buttocks. And part of her hair was also burned. Wow. Some of the photos here. My goodness. Motorola said it reached out to the victim so that it could be analyzed. The victim's husband said that they had purchased the new phone a year ago. Like I said, it's fairly new. She is quite traumatized, he said. I speak more to raise awareness because many people have children and this is very dangerous. That's a good point because right now, there are kids that go to school with their phone, right? I mean, people say, how old should a child be to have their first phone? I'm not a mom, but I'm saying like that's something that I see often. The moms, they say things like, I want to know like where he's at, right? Because, location services, and also like to call me if he needs anything. Excuse me. So that's a good point because imagine a child, God forbid, how would they react when a situation like this happens, right? So the company already reached out to her and they're trying to analyze the phone. And then it says here, a similar incident took place in Massachusetts in September 2024 after an iPhone exploded in front of Audra Cataldo 16 and her friend while they were watching television. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. It's not like, if you're telling me like it was like the phone was being charged next to a wall outlet, and it was from like I told you in the beginning, from one of those chargers that you buy at Five Below, right? It's just people doing normal thing like watching TV, going to the supermarket, and this thing is just gonna caught fire. That's crazy. And then, but this one, the incident that happened in Massachusetts said that the device was attached to a $25 charges she has purchased from Amazon. She said she heard a sizzle moments before the attack and the phone blew up. That's crazy, you guys. Please this be a learning experience for all of us, right? We all have all our devices. And check what charges you're using and check if you hear any hissing sound, things like that. So unplug it immediately. According to a report by the Stanford University, cell phones, laptops, and electronic devices are known for generating excess heat. Yes, we know that. Some of them, like I used to have a phone that used to get so warm. I'm like, I was just getting prepared for me. It's not good. That was not a good thing for it to do that. It can cause the device to not function properly. In some instances, lead to the explosion of the lithium batteries, which are found in the majority of cell phones. The study suggested that customers should use the original charges and refrain from covering them with cloth while they are being charged. Get the phone off your pillow. I'm telling you guys, I know this is a human habit. We all do it. We always want to have our phone next to us, next to our bed. Sometimes in our bed, right, in case somebody calls me, right. So we need to just pay attention to things like this, right. It says here, devices should also be disconnected from the power outlet when they're fully charged. I am so guilty of that, because you think sometimes, you charge your phone in your car, right? And then you get home and you plug it in again. It's like, what? It doesn't need batteries, right? That's something that we have a habit of just recharging it just in case, right? Keep charging it. And sometimes it doesn't need to, right? I think somebody told me this. When I used to work with this person, he used to be so into like the new iPhones and things like that. I'm not an iPhone person, I'm more Android. But he used to be so knowledgeable. He used to say, don't ever charge your phone if it still has like 50%. You have to wait longer. And I was like, why? He's like, you don't. That's gonna mess it up. And things like this. That it's so crazy because sometimes people see phones are just, oh, it's just a material thing. We do pay a lot of money for phones and devices, right? They're not $20. So sometimes it's good to look at the what it is that is needed, so that we can keep it longer and we don't have accidents like this that happen, right? It says a study suggests that, well, I already told you guys not to use the original charges, and the devices should also be disconnected from the power outlet when they're fully charged. So make sure you're checking all of that, you guys. You know, in my opinion, Motorola, right, the manufacturer of this phone, can look at this and say, out of millions of phones that we sell, this is a barely like 1% when things like this happen. We're not going to recall, right? That's usually what they do. They don't want to recall. They're just going to probably compensate her with medical bills or whatever, right? But these are things that are happening because maybe they need to investigate what charges she normally uses. When did she get it? Did she get it with something altered on the phone, right? If anything, they should really do a full investigation to see how they can prevent from other people from doing it. I mean, you would think all these updates that the phones do, you would think they're so advanced that nothing like this will ever happen. you know, it's still at the end of the day, you guys, it's still an item that needs charging, and it's just a man produced item there's no guarantee on it, right? Basically, it says here that I'm trying to see what people are saying. Some people are being sarcastic on the comments, People think that nothing like this will ever happen to them. That's why you have to be so careful. Somebody said that they think that she used a cheap magnetic battery charger that she had in her purse. And everybody's betting on saying it was a cheap charger that she probably used, not the original one. And then somebody's mentioning something that happened on September 17, 2024, about all those pagers that exploded in Lebanon, right? You guys remember that? I remember reading about that. I don't know if I actually made a video about it. This is interesting. But when I remember hearing that, I was like, who uses pagers these days? I thought that was odd too. But I remember hearing of that attack. Well, let me do more research about it. September 17, 2024. All the pagers that went out like that, killing a bunch of people. So that's something to think about. So that's the thing. Like, I think the manufacturer should be investigating whether or not she got this phone like brand new, or was it alter who sold it to her, right? Of these marketplace phones that people always, selling and stuff. So let's see what happens, guys. Let me know what you think about this. And were you ever one of those people who had those Dell computers that the battery just went off? I remember watching, like, investigating reports about it, And I remember watching people giving their testimony of what happened to them with those computers. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you again so much for coming back to my channel. Thank you for listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.